Hi everyone. Yeah, it's Ginny. Today I'm making some more ATCs, and so I'll go through how I do that. I'm in another swap. This month's theme is spring, because it's spring here in Australia at the moment. So I'm going to be doing that. I've got everything set up, so hopefully this doesn't take too long, because some of my videos have just been really long and taken me a long time to upload. So I'm going to begin by mixing some colours that I want to do for the background. So this is ultramarine blue acrylic paint. I think this is, oops, getting a bit low, this one. So I'll do a bit of, I want pale blue, and that's the only blue I have, so that means mixing it with some white. Just to get a a different, nicer colour blue. Oops. The weather started to warm up here, and now it's gone back to sort of a bit cold. So on the weekend though we had 25 and then a 27 degree. It was beautiful. So nice to be out in the warm sun. So I went outside for the 2 days. So yeah, I'm just going to blotch this around in a few places. Yeah, so 27, I think it was Monday actually, and then it was 16 the next day, and it's been raining and cold and not very nice. But that's typical of spring. The weather goes up and down a lot and we get a lot of wind. So luckily it's quite, well, reasonably still today. So I might do yellow. Only need a little bit of that. So I might just grab that out of the cap. I do a lot of these backgrounds of just patchy colours, but I think they look nice. I'm just using this as a bit of drop paper. I want a pink. Oh, I remember one of my recent videos I was telling you about the birds nesting, and there was a blackbird that had built her nest on our back fence, and she was sitting, and she was there for quite a few days, and she'd come and go to the what's it called? The bird bath, and have a drink and splash around. And then I noticed she wasn't there a couple of days in a row, and then the time went on and she hadn't come back, and I don't know what's happened to her. I went out and had a look in the nest, and there are 2 eggs in there, and unfortunately yeah, those babies aren't going to get to develop because she's either abandoned them or something's happened to her. I worry about maybe a cat got to her because her nest is not that far off the ground, and being on the fence it would be quite easy for a cat to climb along the rung of the fence and get to her. So yeah, that's a bit sad, and I miss seeing her there all the time with her little orange beak sticking out over the edge of the nest. But there are other birds nesting in the garden, so I'll be able to follow their progress. I think I should have dried this off in between the colours. So they don't mix. Which I might do now, quickly, using my heat gun, because I packed my hairdryer away somewhere and not sure where it is. Let it cool down for a minute so I can make it flatten. Got a bit of red there in that paint, which is not good. Get that out. And green. Lovely green. Ooh. Car horn. Sometimes people's car horns go off and there's just constant beeping. Very annoying. It's alright if it's somebody who lives in the street because they hear it and they'll come out and turn it off. But if it's someone who's gone off down the shops, we can be stuck with that beeping for sometimes up to 2 hours. And since the sound gets in to our place quite easily, it's not very pleasant. There we go, patchy background. That's that. Now I'll dry that, put those out of the way. I forget that about the heat gun because I normally use a hairdryer, that if you get too close to the acrylic paint it bubbles. It's made it quite a nice texture actually. Maybe you can see that just here. Yeah, but that wasn't really what I was intending. I'll just fix this bit of yellow to come off here. I think the brush was too wet, so that's what happened. Dry that again. I'll probably cut this bit of drying out, so think that will do. The next thing I want to do is a bit of stencil. Oh, that's still pretty hot and curly. White, white, white. Now, still got some in the lid. Now, the big question is, where did I put my sponge that I was going to use? Ah, right here. So, it's got this stencil with different flowers on it. And I use this one. Mainly, I don't really want it to be a flower, I just want it to be a background pattern. And since I don't have any background pattern stencils, I improvise. Yeah, that'll do. Just put that out of the way. Another quick dry. Just quickly put my glove on, because I've shut the door to let hubby know I'm recording, and that's blocked the heater off. Okay, so I've got the background stencil. Now I want to do this, which I discovered the other day and I really like it. It's just a piece of fly wire that we use here in our windows. It's not metal, it's nylon, I think. Makes a really good little pattern on the stencil. Just got to get enough ink on my sponge. Oops, I smudged it a bit. That's a shame. I might use the other end, it's not working that well. Can you see that? Yeah, I like it. So now, because I've prepared, I've got a few things in here I want to use on it. This is a little basket I made out of a doily and the glue, so it stiffened it. If you're a new subscriber, I've got a video on making a basket out of lace. Welcome to my new subscribers too, and thank you for subscribing. My numbers are getting up a little bit now. I think at the moment I'm at 216, which is just amazing to me. I never thought that I'd have more than a few people interested in watching what I do. But yeah, it's nice. And more than any, I think the camera switched off and I hadn't noticed, and I don't know how much I've missed. Sorry if I've missed a lot. I'm gluing on a tissue paper picture of some flowers in a little pot after doing some background colours and stenciling. What am I looking for? I'm reaching. I think I want in here, oh no, actually I moved it. I want a plastic card so I can just flatten that out properly. And sometimes, because this camera will only record 8 minutes at a time, it then switches off and I have to restart it again, and mostly it will beep and let me know. Sometimes it doesn't. So yeah, I end up missing bits of the recording. I think that's going to have to do. If I try and flatten it anymore, it's going to rip. So that's where I've got so far. Background colours, a flower stencil, and using some fly screen as a stencil to get those little black marks. So I'll dry this off now. Good thing about this tissue paper flower is that you can still see through to the background colour and the stencil. So I think that's nice. Just let it cool for a little bit. And then the next thing I want to do is outline this and sort of put a bit more detail into the flowers so that they look better. And because I've made a few of these already, I had a bit of trouble because I don't have very fine line markers. I had two, but they've dried up and I can't get them to work again. And the others are too thick and they don't look good. So what I've ended up using is just a basic writing pen, and it works really well. And I was a bit worried about, because later on I put a varnish over this, I was a bit worried about this not being good to use in terms of it smudging if I put a glue or a varnish over it, but it's fine. So this proves that you don't need to necessarily have fancy artist pens to use on your work. Although this is a particular brand, I don't know if like ordinary, what we call biro pens, would be the same. This might have some special ink in it, I don't know. So what I'll do is just outline this. This is probably going to be a bit boring. Sorry, because it does take a while. So I'll probably speed through this part if I find I don't have anything interesting to say, which I don't think I do. I don't want to do a rush job though, because yeah, I want it to look reasonably good. Just got to see where the leaf goes there. It's a bit hard with the dark background. I'm hoping the lighting's alright in here. It looks in the viewfinder like there's quite a bit of glare coming from the window. But from experience, I'll often look in the viewfinder and think, oh, it looks terrible and you can't see very much. And it'll end up being fine once I look at it on the computer. So maybe that's not such a great... Ooh, gone right off the line there. Yeah, maybe the viewfinder is not such a great way of detecting what you can actually see. Unfortunately, this doesn't look that great at the moment. Bit of traffic today. I still don't have, just suddenly blurred out, sorry. I still don't have my laptop back yet. So frustrating. So I have been watching a lot of videos, but a lot of, I heard it beep then. A lot of the time I'm just using my hubby's little old phone, and on this I can't comment. The only thing I can do is hit like, but it won't allow me, there's no place for commenting. And I do have a desktop computer, but I don't use it that often, and when I do, I use it at night time. At the moment anyway. Normally I'll have my laptop. So yeah, I have only been commenting a little bit when I've been watching on the desktop lately, but not as much as I normally like to. So just to let you guys know that I have been watching your videos, and yeah, sorry I haven't been commenting. When I finally get my laptop back, I'll be able to do that more regularly. Okay, so I've outlined it now, and what I think I'll probably do is go off camera now and fill in all the details, because that's going to take me a long time and I need to look up close at what I'm doing. So I'll come back after I've done that. See you soon. Okay, back again. I finished all the detail. Hopefully you can see. See that there? And so the next step is to give it a bit of a varnish, which I use this Mod Podge Gloss Luster, which says water-based sealer, glue and finish. I really like this one. It gives it a nice shine, and it dries fairly quickly too, which I like. Just get my brush, do this. I found it easier if I dip into the pot rather than pour some out, because sometimes I'll pour out way too much and I don't want to waste it because it's not that cheap. Oh, that would have been hilarious if it all tipped out everywhere after just saying I didn't want to waste it. You've got to see the funny side of things, right? Okay, let's give that a minute or two to dry. And I'll show you next. I'm almost finished. After that I'll go around the edges with the ink. And sorry, that's a bit noisy. And then again I've got a couple of things in this basket. One of them is a tiny little butterfly that I punch. I punched out of some glittery paper. It's beautiful paper. It's got a lovely glitter to it. And I also using some embroidery cotton, I got some beads that have letters on them. Thank you, hubby, just brought me something. With the beads I got spelt out the word spring and put some little wooden spacer beads in between. So I plan to attach that to the card as well. So, and then that will be it. Oh, and apart from putting a back on it, and I've got this that somebody sent me, I think, yeah, she was in part of a Facebook group that I'm in. It just says that it's artist trading card and gives you the space to write the details of who the card's from, what the theme is, and your name and where you what am I trying to say? The group within which you're doing this particular swap. So I'll attach those to the back afterwards. I think it still might be a little bit wet. Yeah, it's still a tiny bit tacky. I'll just quickly hit it with the heat gun. Not literally hit it. Somebody thought that was hilarious when I mentioned that within a group, about hitting it with the heat gun. Alright. Nice, it's given it a really lovely sheen. So I'll just do the inking. This inking around the edges really makes such a difference to things. It finishes them off really nicely, and it's yeah, you know, it's a border, it's a frame around it, but I think it tends to highlight the colours that are that are within. It's really nice, and that's something I learnt along my journey here that I'm still on, my learning journey. Yeah, so that's that. And what I do with these is string them along the bottom and then attach the cotton to the back. Just excuse me a minute, I'm just going to get my tape. So oops, messed that up a bit. It's difficult trying to get it to hang the way you want it to and then hold the string in place. Cotton. Yeah, I don't want it sort of straight across, I want it to hang down a little bit so it doesn't look as harsh, I guess, just being straight. I'll put another bit of tape there in the middle where they cross over, and then I'll cut these extra bits off. And then that will be secured again because I'm going to glue a card onto the back, which will cover all of that up. But first of all, with this card, I'm going to glue this little label onto the back of it with some glue stick. Which happens to be blue. I used to just be clear, and then I've noticed with other people using them too that they come in different colours. I've seen someone using a purple coloured one. I don't know why they do that. Make it coloured. Now let's try and match this up properly. And then I'll have to cut off the excess bits. I've got paint all over my hands. And I'm being good and not being crazy about washing it off like I normally do. Yeah, I meant to say before, with the being brighter here, cleaning up the garden the other day, I got my husband to cut down a large tree dahlia, and that was creating a lot of shadow, and also when it was windy, that was causing all of that flickering that was going on in here that sometimes my camera picked up. So now that's gone, I won't be getting that, and lets a bit more light in, so that's good. Alright, so that does still feel just that tiny bit sticky, but I think it's alright. So now I'll glue with this craft or tacky glue. Glue everywhere. Sometimes a bit hard to match this up properly, but seems to be working out good for me this time. The others I made, I sometimes had a lot of trouble bits overlapping or not. You know, I'd go off one corner and then I'd have to try and move it, and the glue had already started to dry, and it was a big problem. Right, because that's a bit sticky, I'm going to press down with this. My hands don't stick to it. I should do it on the other side. That's going to take a while to dry too. So I'll just put the butterfly on, and then that's done. And oops, then I'll show you the others that I've done. And leave this one to dry. There he is. You see that? So here's, I've made quite a few. That's with different flowers on them, and the different colours and different coloured butterfly. And that's what I didn't do. I didn't ink around the edge of the butterfly. Oh well. Trying to rush, wasn't I? That one. I'll put photos on the end just in case you can't see these that well. In my spring ATCs. Okay, that's it for this video, and I'll be back again soon because I've got some other things planned and a few things I want to show you. And so yeah, that's it for now. Okay, bye for now. Thanks for watching.